Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today we're going to be using this sketch from Mojo Monday. I got it from Pinterest. If this is your first time joining me, please consider hitting the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that way you get alerts basically whenever I upload new content. And this sketch, I actually think it was filled out by Christy Marcotte. If you've never seen her 6x6 paper pad series, definitely go check her out. Okay, so we're continuing on. This is the last video using the Jack Frost collection. This is from American Crafts. And I want to say it's 36 sheets, so you get 3 of each pattern. All right, and we're going to put that to the side, and it is single-sided. I don't think I said that in the other videos, but I wanted to let you guys know that. And we're using the Nuvo Silver collection again as well. So once again, A2 size. The card was 4¼ by 11, and we just scored at 5½. And then we're going to put on this one, instead of doing white, I'm going to put gray on the inside. Gray is still light enough that we can write on it, send a message. You can stamp your a sentiment on the inside if you want. And, you know, it still works. It's you can write on it better than you can necessarily the blue, even though with the blue you would just use a white pen. But for making this, you know, a little bit stronger, I just grabbed some of the gray cardstock I had. It's actually the same weight as the blue, but it's going to give it a little bit of weight to help balance out what we're doing on the front. And we're just going to make that even. So my pieces inside the card, I always make 4 by 5¼ so that way it has a little bit bigger of a border. And then on this one, on the front, the gray is going to be cut at 4⅛ by 5�3. And then the pattern paper is cut at 4 by 5½. And we're just going to go around the edge using the chipped sapphire. Now, I use my oxides just like if it was regular distress inks. I actually have more of the oxides than I do distress. So if you have regular distress, just use what you have. But the chipped sapphire to me was the closest, kind of like a dusty deep blue. So it went really well with this collection. Okay, so now we're going to add some tape on the back of our mat and go ahead and get this on top of the card. All right, and I'm using the wet glue like I have so many times, only because sometimes you just need extra time. And with that, using tape runner, if you put it down, if you've ever experienced where you try to pick it back up and it feels like it's going to tear apart your project, the wet glue helps stop that. So now I'm going to go around all the other edges on the other papers because I'm not going to put any mats behind them. I'm just going to attach them straight to the card, the background paper. And so using the chipped sapphire around the edges is going to allow me to create definition. Sorry about that. I was just messing with my phone trying to get the sketch up so I could see it. Because whenever I'm doing my videos, I usually have the sketch up on my phone to make sure I'm putting everything in the right spot, basically. Okay, so now we're going to angle that. And then we're going to put this pattern piece. Going to ink the edges on that one as well. So if you've seen it before, I probably mentioned this before, but whenever you're using multiple patterns and you don't want to add layers, then definitely consider inking your edges because that will give slight definition from each of the patterns, which won't make the card seem so busy. So even though there's a lot of patterns happening here, it doesn't seem like too much. Do you know what I mean? Because each one is now defined. And so on this strip, I cut it at an angle. I didn't worry about how deep it was. I just looked at it and figured, okay, I'll cut here. And if you don't want just the angled, if you wanted to do it more like a flag and cut it out with a V, you could do that too. The sketches are a good place to jump off. You don't have to follow exactly. I think for card sketches, especially if you're someone who wants to get into making cards, but maybe you feel intimidated about, putting it together, this is a good place to start, and you're using all your papers. You can use scraps. You can stamp if you want to. There are opportunities where if you wanted to do like a stamp and color and all that, you can always do that. You can change it up however you need to make it work for you. All right, so now we're going to get this off, and I store mine on the bottom. And now we're going to play and lay out some of the gems. Now, because some of the paper has the snowflakes in them, I am going to put a couple of the gems right in the center. Like even at the bottom here, the tiny snowflakes, I'm going to put 2 gems in the center of there, and then I have the 3 up at the top. And I really enjoyed using these gems with this collection. They matched really well. Sorry, I think I picked it up and it went like flying. So that's why I had to reach over to the other side. And then I put one right there in the center, and that pattern almost looked like a little flower, so it kind of worked right there. And then we're going to put another dab of glue and the gem. All right. Sometimes it likes to be a little funny, but once it hits that glue, it doesn't take long for it to dry. That's the one thing I like about the art glitter glue, that it dries pretty quickly and it's very strong. So there is the one I did off camera. So I'm going to hold it up here so you can see just the 3 gems over there and then the 2 on the bottom right. And even though this one, the snowflake, was in another spot, I was still able to do the same thing. Okay. So thank you guys again for joining me. Make sure, like I said, you hit the like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that way you get alerts whenever I upload new content. I do uploads or lives for my little scrapbook store. So anytime I have something that's going on, you would be notified. So that way you guys would be able to come and join me. All right. So thank you so much. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll catch you guys with the next video.